Hello, thanks for watching. My name's Lance, and today I'm going to do a video on pine trees and how to paint pine trees really easy. And a few things that I've done that have made it a lot easier, and hopefully this helps, and it helps you paint your pine trees better. So let's get started. I'm going to move the camera, and we'll get going. Should be pretty short and sweet. Thanks. We'll get this in a little closer so I don't have to shut off the video. And that should be that should give you a pretty good shot of the stuff there. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and I've taken some color here. I've got some crimson, black, green, really Prussian blue, and some brown, and that'll be my base color. And then I'll use this for highlights. And this is just a little medium that's I'm going to use to thin it because I don't have anything on the back of this canvas. So I'm going to mix all this together real quick here. Okay, and that'll be nice. We got a lot of paint. When you're painting pine trees, you want a lot of paint on the brush because they won't look right if you try to skimp on paint. You want the brush. I'm going to use a fan brush today, I think. I might use a different one, we'll see. But you want to make sure that the paint is pulling off the brush. You're not pushing it off the brush. You don't want to smear it on there. You probably won't be as happy with them. So, okay, got it mixed up good. And I've got I'm gonna put I just use that palette knife to mix up the paint. Got it mixed pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect. And this might have a little more blue in it. It's not a big deal. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come in here, and this is the color, and I've got this fan brush. It's a bristle brush, and it's sometimes fan brushes have certain angles each way, but all I'm going to do is we're going to use this guy for now. I'm just going to load this brush up full of paint. I'm going to make sure the camera's zooming in good. Yeah, looks like it is. Okay, I'm going to come in here. A lot of paint on the bristles, back and forth. You can wiggle it, whatever. Okay. And it's pretty loaded up, nice and sharp. And we'll start over here. And all you want to do with pine trees is just make a little top to it. Push down like that. And you really don't need to go to the bottom unless you want to. I mean, most of this will cover up when you get down below, but we'll start with that guy. Okay. And just kind of going back in, loading the brush. A lot of paint. You can see all the paint on there. It's thick. Okay. And then all you want to do is you take the little corner, start tapping. If at the top, go really light when you're at the top. Okay. And as you come down, you can start opening the brush up. Okay. See, you just want it to pull off. Turn the brush around. Okay. Don't forget about the middle. Okay. As you get more to the bottom, you can open the brush up and go back and forth. Okay. Kind of decide. Now, when you get to a certain point, you load the brush up again if you like that. Okay. You can come back in and fill in the middles, tapping in the middle. Okay. You want to stick them out farther. Just kind of lightly let the paint come off. Okay. It's easy to get these trees. If you might get something sticking out too far, that's okay. Sometimes they have that. Sometimes you'll get them too wide too fast. Go easy. You can even start in the middle if you want. Okay. And you can come up here and maybe tap a little bit that way. See? Well, what you're doing is you're just trying to create, this one kind of the bristles come down. You can make it a little wider at the bottom, but that's a pretty good looking whatever pine tree. It can be any kind, fir tree. I don't know. They're all the same. I mean, whatever. They all have the same general shape to them, right? It is dry canvas, so the paint would come off. Probably stick easier if I'd have put some medium under there, and I could have. So let's try one. Say I don't have as much paint on my brush, okay? Say I'm just using what's left, okay? First thing will come here. You can already see that's okay. I'm kind of coming down. So this brush doesn't have a lot of paint. Let's see what happens. Not bad, but you see me working it in there more, and it's smearing. And you can move that brush around and come back and forth. Don't want that. Okay. You can come up to the top. The bristles are kind of open. And it just kind of gets fuzzy. And then you kind of you start working it too hard, and then next thing you know, your tree looks like that. Still, it doesn't look bad, but you got to have a lot of paint on there. You can come back in and fix it if you want. Just throw some more paint. But once you get your edges all like that, you might as well wipe that one down and start again. Okay, let's go in and try another. Let's put another. Okay. A lot of times too, if I'm doing them up, you get the bristles up. I'll show you here. Let's come down. Like a lot of them point up. I'm not as good at that. I don't know why, but whenever you start at the top, you don't need to push up or down. A little too much on there, but that's okay. Okay, you just tap it sideways, but then sooner or later, take him out. You can even make that taller and cover that up, right? Turn them around. Now we want the bristles to go up. Just push up, okay? Same thing. Okay? And that's how you do that way. Now for me, you see I'm not good at really pushing them up as much. And I struggle with that. I'm not good at it. Okay? So what I like to do is if I'm going to do trees that are pointing up, I turn the canvas. This is easy. This is the way I do them, and they turn out way better. People ask me, why do you paint upside down? And you'll see here in a second, I think. Okay, so I'll go here, and same thing, I'll just start at the bottom here. Take and tap, and just maybe there's my top there. Okay, and you can use a liner brush if you really want to have a good little, I think I had too much coffee today. Okay, load it up full. There. Got a good bunch of paint on the brush, and do the same thing here, but it's just upside down. Start right here. Tap really light. Go to here. Turn it around. You think it's running out of, and I'm just tapping down from here. Okay. There. And using more as you get to the bottom. There. Okay. A little more paint. There. And then you can come over here and just kind of start filling it in. And maybe you want it a little bigger. You can move your brush around. Too bad. And then here, like I said, you can kind of come in here, but that one will give you bristles going up. Just kind of fill it in, bring it down to there. So there, that looks a little bit better than that one. And so let's turn it back around. Lots of paint though. So that one doesn't look too bad, does it? Okay, so you got a nice tree there. It's kind of, that one, it looks good. This one, a little harder for me to get the angles on them. So I tend to, like to do these. I just turn them upside down and go to town. They're pretty easy. Let's try a little smaller brush. If you're going to do smaller trees, you don't want a huge brush. Okay. So let's take a little smaller fan brush. Same thing. This one's kind of beat up though. You want a good one, but say we're going to do a little guy here. Pull him down. These are easier with a smaller brush. I'm already running out of paint. Okay. And then same thing. Go to the side. Tap. Okay, more paint on him. He doesn't have enough. And this brush is it's a little beat up, but you can come in and you can see it's not sticking that well. A little fuzzy. What am I going to do here? Let's take and I'm going to take and try to get some more paint back together. I got this all over the place, but if I take my paint, see, I just use this paper palette today because then when I'm done with it, I can just chuck it. There. Let's try this again now. Okay, there wasn't as much paint on there, but now, and this brush is getting worn out. I don't take very good care of my brushes, but look at all the paint on there. So let's go back and just make this guy a little bigger, okay? See, you can tell right there when you pull down how much you have, and then we'll just come in here, and he'll make some really, hey, you just go back and forth. There, tap it up. Pretty good tree there. And they get kind of at the bottom, you want your tops. Don't go too high up on your trees. That one looks good, and this guy, watch this. If you want to maybe make him a little taller, and I'll show you another way. You can just do that and leave it like that. So you got that there. Now, brushes I don't like to use when I'm doing, or I don't like to do pine trees without, I like the bristle brushes, but this one's like a synthetic brush. Let's see what he does. And just the bristles aren't as thick, but I'm going to put some paint on there. And I'm going to come through here. Tell you what the synthetic brush is good for is if you really want to make the start of your tree and then come back in. But whoop, watch this here, okay? Come back in here and you can come across and, you know, it's just, they don't, synthetic brushes, yeah. So if you got one of these, invest in a bristle brush for your trees. Otherwise, they'll look like this. And to me, that doesn't look that good. It's kind of thin, kind of, I guess if you want a Charlie Brown tree, that might do it for you, okay? But yeah, you're just doing that. Now keep in mind another thing, I'm going to see if I can get another one done here for you. But what I want to do is when you're coming down on your trees, let's make this one bigger and just kind of, I want to show you something here. But when you're coming down with your bristles, and I'll use this other guy, he's got more paint on him. You tap at the top, remember, okay? Start out and get a clear, just kind of go like that. But when you're tapping, one side's always going to look funny because the way your bristles are, you know, they're always going to need some adjustment. So if you take, a lot of times what I'll do is this side can go here, because see the little edges you're getting? Shift your brush this way, and push that way for that side, okay? You can do that if you want to pull some pointers out. But if you pull a pointer this way, or if you use this side, it's going to go up because that's the way the brush is, okay? This way, this way. Go fast, your trees. But if you want this side, remember, see, you get some bristles sticking out. If you got one way out there, this tree's got some long bristles, but, you know, and then as you get to the top, just use the edge, and you don't need to do much. So easily with trees, how you can do them. So then, when you do highlights, oh boy, you can really, we're going to mix up this yellow and this green, make a highlight color. Hopefully it's not too dark. Oh, I got my lid in there. Huh. Get that out of there. Get some, okay, and we'll just mix that up, okay? And that's a nice, it'll stand out. That's pretty bright, but that might look pretty good on there. And then what we're going to do with this highlight color, I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to put in, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get, we'll just use this brush, this one we were using. Wipe him off a little bit. I'll just use the small one for the highlights, okay? Let's come in here and grab a little of this color. You don't need it on the whole brush. Let's go over here. Same thing, you're just going to lightly touch. Okay? And you can see they're coming off, but it's almost like I'm having to work a little too hard. So I'm going to take a little paint thinner. Okay? Or you can let them dry, but if you want to get your painting done, you can, this is wet on wet. I put some paint thinner in there. See? And it's a little, you know, a little bit soupier. See what that does. Hopefully you can see that. And then we'll come in and just come down fast, put your highlights in. Oh, don't kill all the dark or your trees won't look good. There. I might have some, get some more paint on the brush, you know, and just come through. See how that kind of, that's coming off and you're getting a little bit. I'm getting some high, looks like it's getting a little glare, isn't it? Let's try that. How's that look? Better? Okay. You know, you can get it in there, you can push up, whatever you do. You want it on the bristles and you want it to come off because when it's, and then this one here, we can just kind of tap up, right? Again, I'm not good at that. So what I'll do when I'm doing trees and I want them to look decent with a fan brush, because a lot of times is I'll take and, whoops, okay, go back in here. Well, we can see that. And just same thing. Just come through and darker at the bottom on pine trees, right? You can put a little bit up here. There, just get some highlights. These are super dark. I could have probably not made them as dark, but no big deal. Okay, let's turn it back around. This is just an old panel. Okay, we're almost done. This video is just about done. and it'll be a 15-minute tree video. I could have went faster. Then over here, let's come back in and same thing, just start same way and just kind of go through. There, you don't want to smudge the paint. Sometimes it'll happen, but with practice and stuff on trees, you'll get it. And then over here, this one's, that one don't look bad once you put the highlights on. Not like if it's a Charlie Brown tree, but there's trees, you know, and I like the upside down ones, look really good. And we can do, I'll do some more with like a 1-inch brush. You can do trees with these guys. You can do trees with anything. And this is my favorite tree brush right here. I don't know, this is a large filbert. This thing makes awesome trees. And fan brushes, you can use whatever. A lot of times I'll use a small filbert. And if I'm going to be doing like something like this, if I'm doing small trees, I'll use this one and come in. A little more control and stuff like that. But try to knock in some fast trees. That works good. You can use a larger filbert. I think this is a filbert. I don't know. And you can make trees and do that. Takes a little more practice to get them to look right. Fan brushes work great. Another thing you can do when you're, to make your trees is you can come in and I didn't do was you can come in and get some color in there and put in some stems and stuff, or you can do it after the fact because you won't see them all. You'll have some little things in there. I didn't put any color on there, but the first coat is typically you can pull up here. Hey, give them little points. Be careful. I'm a little jittery today. There, see? Come up and get some little. The first coat is your back of your tree or your base coat, and then you can come in with your highlights, and that should cover. We could have put stems after the first coat and then come in with the highlights and stuff, but they still look fine. You can come in and put color in afterwards with a knife or do whatever, but it works out, pretty good. And then if you wanted to come in, like you're doing a landscape, I know it's a tree painting, but you can just come in below and tap in. Fan brushes are great. Look, maybe we got a little land under here. And maybe it's a hill. This is just how easy oil painting can be. And this is a dry canvas too. I don't have any color. You can move the brush around, lights and darks. Heck, you could let this dry and leave this white open and come in with a transparent brown and paint it and you'd only notice the brown in there. You'd have dirt mixed in there, and this will take a while. Then you got a little highlight. You can come back in if you wanted and highlight a little bit. And sometimes when you get into grass, you can get a little more aggressive and just smash it in there. And the paint kind of throw the paint off the brush, right? Well, look at that. I mean, that's just, you could have a little scene there. I didn't put anything in the background, but you definitely have an easy way to work on trees. Have a nice, soft, this is a thick one. You can get these at any art store, but you can come in and that's a good thick fan brush, holds a lot of paint, and that'll be really good for these trees. If you have one that's thin like this, oh boy, it's going to be tougher. It'll work, but when you get in to do that, it's not going to be as, you're not going to have probably, it'll be a little more sporadic and stuff. Maybe kind of like this one over here, which didn't turn out bad actually once we got the highlights on it. So thanks for joining me today. If you liked it, share if you will. I sure appreciate that, and have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye now. See you when we see you.